All right. I had another video going, but it was flashing, so I ended it. We'll see if the quality of this one is better. So, all right. Well, today is Sunday, April 26th, and I want to talk about the topic of consistency. Right now, I'm going to type something in the chat, transformationalmeditation.org. I just clicked on that. And that is the link that you can click on in order to get a free download of my book called The Positive Purpose of Negative Emotions. So the purpose of that book is to give us some tools that help us deal with the negative emotions when they come up. Just recapping one quick thing, we know that negative emotions can only send two possible messages, right? They're messengers. And read that in the book for those of you who haven't read it. The two possible messages of a negative emotion are, number one, the thought is incorrect, so change it. And number two, correct action is needed, so take it. Now today, I'm going to talk about the topic of this is actually the last page of my 28-day course. And the concept is actually called consistency. And so we're going to talk about consistency today and what the negative emotions, how the negative emotions impact consistency. Because, well, I won't give you the because until a minute from now. Okay, a couple of minutes from now. I want to set a context for consistency. And I want to talk about Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Many people have read Think and Grow Rich, right? What some people may also remember is that he says, I have spoken about a formula for success many times, a formula many times during this book, right? But he never actually says what the formula is. So you want to know what the formula is if you haven't read it or if you haven't figured it out. He talks about the formula for success, and it has three components. Number one, for us to be successful, we'd have to have desire, followed by a good plan and right action. Not just a plan, but a good plan. Because if I have a plan, if I say, hey, I want to manifest $1 million by next Wednesday, and we say, what is my plan? Then, David, can you tell me if you see my screen flashing from where I'm at? It's just flashing off and on, and I started a new live video. But I don't know if it is or not. So if I said I want to manifest $1 million and I'm going to do it by 2 days from now, and you say, well, what's your plan? And I would say, my plan is to rob a bank. That's a plan. Okay. But that is not a good plan. So we need to have a good plan, not just any old plan. Okay. So first we've got to have desire. Then we have to have a good plan. And then once we have the good plan, then we have to take right action. Okay. So the desire would be like, in the old timey days when they had steam engine locomotives. And in order for that train to pull out of the station, they had this potbelly stove, and they have to put in wood and coal, and then the steam would go, and then it would, chug out of the station. That's desire. Okay. And desire is an emotion. It is a positive emotion. Right? So that's going to impel our train forward, but we got to have a map. We have to be going someplace, right? So we have to have a good plan, and then we have to take right action. So let me give you an example of a good plan. Where I'm sitting right now, I'm actually sitting on the spot where I normally was keeping my rebounder, those little trampolines that you jump on. And my good plan was I'll have it in my room, and so then I'll see it, so that I will jump on it because it's right there. Well, the first time I did, maybe the second time or third time that I did the Facebook Live, I took the rebounder out and put it in a different room. So I would have more space to walk around. Well, you know what? I never brought that rebounder back. It's still in the other room, and I've only jumped on it twice. So I violated my good plan. My good plan was to keep it right in my room so I would see it. So after this Facebook Live, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that rebounder, and I'm going to put it back in here, and then I'm going to be jumping on it every day. So I'll give you all a report on how my rebounding is going next Sunday. Also, part of a good plan is to have accountability. Either have an accountability buddy or an accountability partner where you say, I'm going to do such and such, and then they hold you to it, right? You think I'm going to show back up here next week and say I didn't jump on my rebounder? I'm going to commit to 6 days. 6 days of jumping on the rebounder. And that gives me then an opportunity to take a day off or, have something happen. And that way I know I can accomplish that goal. So we got to have a good plan. Then we have to take right action. So I can bring that rebounder in here, right? That's the good plan. But the right action is I have to jump on it. Okay. Now, this is the correlation with the negative emotions. There's nothing like negative emotions to stop or subvert the right action being taken. Somebody gets upset. Oh, now they don't feel like doing it. I just am not in the mood to make that call. No, I don't feel like making that call. So that's the correlation of the negative emotions with this consistent performance. When we're talking about consistency, we're talking about consistency of performance, right? So it's very important to use the tools in this ebook that you're downloading and reading. And you can go back, rather than me review everything today, because today is a new topic, you can go back and read, you can watch the videos on my timeline 1 through 6 that explain the flow chart in the book, that explain the positive purpose of negative emotions and everything that you need to do. But today, my whole point is to point out that if we have negative emotions, it can really get in the way of us taking action, consistent action. So what does consistency mean? It means doing the same thing over and over. Now, in this instance, when you have a good plan, well, then do that good plan over and over, right? Not to be confused with the definition of insanity. So everybody knows the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Okay, so when we're doing the wrong thing, we definitely don't want to do the same thing over and over because we're not going to get new results. But I'll give you a definition of a higher version of insanity. How about if we have a good plan, we take right action, we're getting and achieving the results we want. Now we got the new result, and then to stop doing the thing that we were doing that got us the result, expecting to still have the result. That is insanity at a higher level. I'm going to say that again. So to get the new and different result with your good plan, taking the right action, and then to stop taking that action that got us the result, expecting to still have the result. It's like when somebody, loses weight, right? They were exercising, they changed their nutrition and all of that. They lost weight. They're like, this is great. And then they stop doing it. That's what consistency is. We have to continue to do the same positive thing. I'll give you the most obvious example is brushing your teeth, right? You're not going to go to bed tonight and brush your teeth and then say, you know what? That's it. I've brushed my teeth enough. I'm tired of brushing my teeth. I shouldn't have to keep brushing my teeth. Well, there's such a thing in this world called maintenance. If you want to keep the teeth, you got to keep brushing, and we have to maintain them, right? There's also the emotional maintenance and the mental maintenance. So we have to continue to understand what our thoughts were that we talked about in the second series, that our negative thoughts are creating the negative emotions. So we have to have the tool to find the thought and get the new thought or take the correct action so the negative emotion goes away. So then we can continue on our good plan. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people talk about 21 days, right? It takes 21 days to form a new habit. Do you know what? In observing people and their habits for 25 years, I actually haven't found that to be true. I've seen people, it's like people do things for 21 days. In fact, you might even say anyone can do something for 21 days, but can they do it for 21 years? Right? So I wouldn't necessarily count on saying, I'll just do it 21 days. Case in point, I was on my rebound at least 28, 29, maybe 30 days in a row. I moved that rebounder out of here. I rebounded twice, and that was the end of it, right? So we don't want to take those habits for granted and don't just assume if we've done it X amount of time, well, then, we've got it made. It's like, no, we have to continue to maintain with our good plan and take the right action and do it consistently. When people take my 28-day course and then they finish, I have a whole other course that's called consistency. And I say, look, you put all this time and effort to getting your habits going. You might want some support and accountability to make sure that you keep doing the thing that you've been doing. So in my 28-day program, I say there actually aren't just 28 concepts, there are 29. And concept 29 is consistency. Keep doing the other 28. Keep doing the other 28. Keep monitoring the thoughts and the emotions and shifting them and using your tools and all of that. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say. Hi, Kathy Stewart. I see that you did make it back. So I think that's it for today's topic on consistency. Just a little food for thought. And I'll see you next week.